Hey, what's going on YouTube? Thought I'd make a video regarding Seroquel. I know a lot of you out there are probably on Seroquel right now, and some of you maybe not. Anyway, this is supposed to be an informational video based on my personal experience with Seroquel and what I'm doing now with Seroquel, which happens to be tapering off. So, guess we'll get started with a brief story on when I got on Seroquel. I had actually been on trazodone for about a year, and then I was looking to get off trazodone, so I switched to Seroquel. One thing the psychiatrist actually forgot to explain to me was that it's actually an antipsychotic neuroleptic drug, and it actually works on your neurotransmitters very carefully. One thing for sure that I didn't know before I got on Seroquel was how strong of a drug it actually is, and I didn't necessarily know how it worked in the brain before I got prescribed Seroquel. So I ended up taking 50 milligrams for a starting dose, and I started taking that once every night to help me sleep. Personally, it did a wonderful job. Honestly, it was a lot better than trazodone in many regards, mostly including the fact that I could wake up the next day and actually function. It didn't make you too drowsy the next day. But as the months went on and as time went on and I became tolerant to the drug, I needed more of it with my tolerance, and so I started going up to 100, 150, 200, and then I started going up by 25 milligram increments because I realized how powerful it was. Then I went up to 325, and then I went up to 350. I topped off at 400. And so 2 years passes, and I've been on Seroquel the entire time. I've noticed that it does nothing good for my mood. I've actually been very scared to get off because I decided to do a personal experiment, just cold turkey off it. It was very slow. By the third day after cold turkeying from 300 milligram, basically just a straight shot into the beginning of a psychosis episode, kind of. That's just how my brain felt. That's how my body felt. It just put my body and my brain into complete shock. But I desperately have wanted to get off this medication because I don't want to have to rely on something for me to sleep, and knowing how powerful Seroquel is, I don't want to be taking the shit that's going to be affecting my mood in any way. I don't want it to affect my mood negatively. By trial runs, I've been able to tell just by getting off it for short periods of time, my mood is so much better. So my experience with Seroquel taper. What I did, I was on a dose of 350 milligrams. I was up to 400 for a little bit, but I dropped to 350, and that was a slight change, I'm sure, but it wasn't enough for me to notice. But what was enough for me to notice was when I cut my dose in half from 350 to about 150. Then I could really kind of tell as well. Again, nothing too major. The Seroquel withdrawal is kind of weird. It almost feels like you've stayed up for 3 days. I don't know if anyone stayed up for 3 days, but at the end of the 3 days, your brain starts to get foggy and fuzzy, almost like an old TV screen when you're not on any channels. It kind of feels like that. Your memory recall is lagged, your ability to store memory is lagged, and your body just feels like absolute crap. I mean, my muscles, my arms and legs, my arms could be tingling sometimes, and my legs and my arms just feel like they've been working for 4 days in a row. This is how serious Seroquel withdrawal is, and people don't even realize it. And so this will come as a general warning, but I've never been on a psych med before that's actually been as powerful as Seroquel. And I think it might be undermined because psychiatrists are certainly handing this stuff out like candy. For me, I definitely didn't want to stay on it. It made my sugar cravings undeniably high. My cravings for just junk food is kind of high for the last 2 years being on it. So, continuing the taper story, once I got down to 150, I decided it would be a good idea to cut down to 50 milligrams. And I know some of you out there might disagree with this, but I took the leap and I did it. And I'm currently in the taper right now. I've been taking just about 40 to 50 milligrams of Seroquel per night, and that's a full taper from 150 milligrams. And it's been really difficult. It's been extremely difficult. The anxiety that I've gotten, it feels like real terror. Every kind of negative thought that might come into your brain during the state of withdrawal from Seroquel seems so real and so vivid in your head. And so in that shocked state, sometimes it can be hard to distinguish whether or not that thought, as serious as it actually is in reality. It's almost like you take a clear step out of the normal bounds out of reality into this altered reality. You're ultra sensitive. You can't control your emotion as well as you would be able to. Your body just is in absolute shock and you feel like crap, like you're withdrawing from benzodiazepines or heroin. I'm not comparing Seroquel to those, but I was shocked to find out for myself how much this drug actually affects you. So with that said, I'm going to continue the Seroquel taper and hope that it goes well. To be honest, I am a little bit freaked out by stopping completely because I've been on sleep meds for a total of 3 years. This is the first time in my life I've ever dealt with a serious psychiatric drug. My plans from here are basically to go from the 40-50 milligrams that I'm getting my body adjusted to now, and I might go another week on this same dose, and then after that I'm gonna even cut it down in half from there, go down to 25 milligrams, 20 roughly, and then from there I'm gonna take the leap to none. Hopefully it goes well. I'll definitely keep everyone posted on how it goes. My overall response to the medication, definitely getting through this tough time. If anyone is on Seroquel right now and they're considering getting off it or tapering, please let me know. Also, I do have a Discord server. If any of you guys want to join that, I'll leave the link to join that in the description. I think it would be good to build a community of people that could help each other, whether it be dealing with trauma or getting off medication or getting off drugs. It's just going to be a generalized mental health community to just allow people to join in and help one another and receive help and give help. I think it would be good to have an open server in that regard. So if you guys would like to join that, honestly, that would be great. I'm on most of the time, and if I'm not there, you could leave a message and I'll definitely get back to it in the server. So if you want to reach me, just reach me on the Discord server, guys, and definitely get back to you as soon as possible. And most of the time I am active. You'll be able to talk to me live and on the spot. Some of you who have requested that, and definitely an easy way to rendezvous people and to help each other. So that's it, guys. Again, if you're withdrawn from Seroquel, hang in tight. It's definitely one of the more difficult withdrawals I've ever had to experience in my life. I actually did have to experience an alcohol withdrawal nearly 4 years ago, and that was one of the toughest things I'd done, but there's nothing compared to the Seroquel withdrawal that I've experienced so far, and also in my trials of cold turkey. Alright, thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. I'm actually just by the ocean right now. Instead of landing, just hanging out.